My name is Evan Doherty and I'm a photographer. I was always into art. I was like, from a very young age, like when I was mad into pencil drawing people. Me and a friend of mine, we used to just go around tagging and painting and the usual stuff. And when I was about 13 or 14, and I started taking photos of street art in Dublin. And then that kind of graduated onto making websites. So I used to make websites when I was about 14. It was a different time back then. It was all HTML back then. I was taking pictures, basically street art, any sort of new street art that might have popped up, because we lived along the Dart line, you know. We used to just hop over my back wall, basically. You could walk up and down the tracks and see the art and take photos of it. And then I used to scan and upload them onto the internet. And then that was where the photos kind of started, you know. It wasn't an SLR camera, it was just a camera my mum bought me, just a little point and shoot camera, you know. I bought myself a Canon, I think it was a 350D at the time. It was like 5 megapixels or something. Not many people had digital cameras, even when I started my college course. So I bought a camera, got let go from Irish Ferries, went on the Dole for a few months, and then a friend of mine's mum was working in Marino College there in Fairview and said, "Oh, you should do the photography course if you do nothing." I said, no, I'll do it another time. And she convinced me, "Oh, look, I'll sign you up, do the photography course, keep you busy while you're off work." So I ended up going to doing a photography course there in Marino, like a portfolio course. I actually loved it there, like really enjoyed it, like just going in. It was kind of very chill photography course. So I got onto a few photographers and I assisted Barry McCall there, who'd be a big enough photographer here. Top of his game, probably had the whole city wrapped up at that stage. He was shooting for all the brands, and just even being in that environment, working with the people, working with the models, working with the hairstylists and makeup artists and stylists and everybody. I just loved the buzz of doing that. Probably when I knew I could make this as a career, I'd gone to sort of do work experience in Dunn's stores there across the road in the head office. A friend of mine, he came back from the States and he was working in there basically in fashion. He said, "Oh, if you want to come in, do work experience, you can do a few photo shoots for us in there," because I'd only just done my PLC course and I was going into IADT to do the degree course. So during the summer, I basically just went in there and worked, like set up a studio, bought lights, Elinchrom lights out of Guns, up the road there, just the cheapest ones we could get. And I did a couple of tests with like the people wearing the clothes in there. There was some good looking girl that worked there and staff, and we did a few shots. And then we'd set up a shoot then. They ended up using all the shots, like they used them all on billboards in town and all the windows in the shops. And Barry was previously shooting their stuff and probably getting paid a lot of money. And it obviously got me in to do something for work experience, basically for nothing, and they'd used all the shots. But I think then when he showed me, there was a billboard he'd brought me out, and was like, "Oh, you know, what you think, there's your billboard, your first billboard." And I was thinking it could be better, you know. When I'd seen it in the shops, and I was like, if these are using my images, I know Dunn stores doesn't seem like a big thing now, but at the time, for me, it was like, Jesus, maybe I'll be able to do this as a job or be able to make money. I think every time you did a job that people liked and people gave you a bit of a confidence, so I think that was enough for me to maybe realize I can do this as a career, you know. And have the freedom to be your own boss as well. I think that's just so important. They are long days of work and long shoot days and long editing days and stuff, but I don't mind really working when I can get to enjoy the other parts of it, you know. I got this space, and I think it was, at the time, it was €700 a month. 2012, nobody was renting around town. And I got keeping off mirrors from a restaurant around the corner, Alfie's, and loads of the furniture that used to be in here was all just borrowed off people that were my friends. Was managing a restaurant. Anytime they're throwing something out, I was like, "I'll take it." And there was a couch down there, and sometimes even when I was in here, I didn't even have money to get home. I put my money down the back of this couch that was obviously in a restaurant for years. And I'd take out a couple of euro to get the fucking dart back to my mum's house, you know. And then when I'd finished college, we had to do some like back to work course thing in Coolock, and I got back to work allowance. So I knew that would pay for here. Like the jobs I was doing at the time were just like headshots, actors' headshots, you know, whatever I could, just anything I could do just to pay the bills at the time, just to pay the rent in here. So you kind of learn quick. And I was good on social media. I think at the time, Facebook was really only kicking off then. I think Instagram maybe around 2014. And I don't think anyone else was really doing it at the time, using social media to kind of advertise themselves. I know that sounds stupid now when you think about it, but really at the time, I mean, I probably wasn't working that much, but I made it look like I was working loads. Now it's the opposite now. It's like putting no social media up and I'm working all the time, you know? Post sort of the crash and all that sort of stuff. And that was a nice way to sort of build a business. when I had a camera, it would have been just all film. You know, when I started, it was just, I know, it was just a point and shoot camera. And then when I bought the digital camera, I already had a Canon A1 camera. I don't think anyone really had a digital camera in my class at the time, you know, bar maybe a couple of people had bought them second, because it was quite expensive. You were still in that transition of digital and film cameras. During college, I would have been shooting on Hasselblads and stuff we could use, and I had my own camera, so I started shooting a lot of the project for all essentially shot on film. And I got really into printing in the darkroom at the time, so I'd spend hours in the darkroom in IDT, probably go in the morning and I wouldn't come out till the evening time until we had to leave, you know. So I got mad into studio setups, taking my time, working with a model and shooting on a 5.4. So you probably have enough money at the time, it's probably cheaper back then than it is now, to shoot maybe 10 frames, and you'd spend a lot of time shooting. So then, like, obviously digital cameras got a lot better as years went on, and the quality got a lot better. So I was always looking for that quality, and being able to use Photoshop. I was able to graduate fairly easy with my website developing, and graphics background to art background to photography background. I was able to kind of marry them all. And I don't think you can compare digital to film now, because I think when people are shooting on film now, they're more looking for the aesthetic of film, as in the sort of discoloration film and what it presents, more so than trying to get really good quality, clean images, you know. So it's a different process, completely different process. Like even on today, I had a digital camera there, just if all else fails or something happens to the film, there's a backup there, you know, all the work that goes into it, you know. I've spoke to a couple of people who are like younger people who are like, I only shoot film, so unless you can actually see you have enough ability to shoot film and you're confident enough that it's going to be of the same quality, and you have that name that you're like an unbelievable at shooting on film, like I think that's great. But I think in this day and age, you need to be flexible. You have to make money, you have to earn. All the biggest artists, commercially successful artists, they're all great business people, have a great team behind them, you know. So I think you have to, if you want to create art, you need funding, you need money, and if you're able to do your commercial work that can fund the art that you want to create, that's a privilege. I remember speaking to a photographer who came over here, probably around when I was in college, maybe around 15 years ago, David LaChapelle. And one of the things I said to him about, you know, how did you start? How did you make money? And he said, I used to do travel photos. I used to do product photos. He shot a campaign for Diesel. It's a real famous campaign where they're all on a boat and it's all these sailors and all kissing each other. Like, he was like, oh, when I shot that, I was doing product photography. I was just doing anything to pay the bills to fund the art. So all the time I think that, yeah, every job I do, you know, I might like a job on the day that I shot it and enjoy it that evening, and then the next day I'm gonna fucking hate that. So that happens with all artists, you know. You just need to be confident in what you do as well. I think it's just so important. It's a love-hate thing sometimes when you're doing this, you're in this business. Like, you feel sometimes, some weeks you feel like you're at the top of your game, other weeks you feel like you're not good enough. You need to be kept on your toes in this business as well, you know. There's always trends, you know, that come along. There's always different photographers that come along who are like, I'm inspired by other people as well. And sometimes I see people come up with stuff and I'm like, shit, like that's unbelievable. Like, how come I didn't come up with that idea, you know? But you need to take inspiration from that instead of feel envious of it, you know. Just try and take inspiration, try and do better. I think you need to kind of better yourself all the time.